This video is for educational purposes only. I'm following all your guidelines, YouTube. Please, leave me alone. What's poppin', you guys? This is your boy, man, back at it with a banger. Right now, I'm trying to make my way over to San Francisco, and to be honest, I may or may not make it because I'm trying to catch the ferry building. So, the ferry leaves in about 12 minutes, and I'm like 15 minutes away. The thing about the ferry building is they are very strict on their schedule. They leave when they say they're gonna leave, and they do not care if they leave you. So, let's try to make it, baby. Hopefully we do. Come on. We're literally 1 minute off, and there's so many people running to the boat. Like, look at this dude. Oh my god, we missed it, guys. Missed the first one, but it's okay. We're here. Let's get it. Come on. San Francisco, California, man. This has a lot of core memories for me growing up. I mean, Hippie Hill, 420. This was the spot, baby. There was no city like San Francisco when 420 came around. Everybody would get together in this park and just get faded, bro. They would do the countdown for 4:20 p.m. and it would just be a complete smoke out, which I thought was sick. Not to mention, growing up in California, I got to experience, you know, the market going from not legal to medical, where people were able to get a medical card and go into dispensaries and purchase, to now we're all the way where it's rec. I mean, you're able to come to the state with just your ID, be 21 and over, walk into a shop and buy some za, bro, and get faded, which is sick. You also get a huge diversity when it comes down to the type of shops you can find out here, because you have the big corporate ones where like you find in other states across the country, and you also have unique things like lounges where you're able to purchase and go and sit down and get faded, you know. Not to mention, I really do feel like the best cannabis came from Northern California. I mean, all the way from Humboldt down to Sacramento, in the city, in the Bay, in Oakland, you know, like. What up, bruh? Yeah. What's good? We just got recognized while walking outside. It's kind of cool. But I do feel like we have the best weed, you know. So to be able to come out here and travel and visit and experience it, I think it's awesome that you could just walk into a shop. I will say though, this is what I will say, that you don't always find the best brands in these shops. A lot of the people that came into the shop, they come from different backgrounds. So people came in with money from different backgrounds and try to invest into this space without really knowing much about it. But if you're from the Bay, if you're from the city, man, and you tried any of the street brands that some of them have made it to the shelves in these dispensaries, you're gonna know what to get and what not to get. You feel me? So today we're gonna walk around. I wanna just go over like pricing with you guys, and I want to take you guys to a lounge where you can actually get faded at after you purchase. Let's get it. Come on. Well, it's not legal to publicly consume in San Francisco. I mean, it's kind of like an unhidden truth that they just let you do whatever you want here, bro. Like, there's literally people on the street doing hard drugs next to police officers, and nobody really gives a crap, bro. Like, it's a strange city, but when it comes down to being a stoner and buying some, you know, buying your product and walking around and getting faded, you're basically gonna have no issues. So what are some of like the biggest pros and cons when it comes down to the dispensaries? I want to start off with the pros, because ultimately I do think that there's more pros and cons here. So the pro is, as I mentioned earlier, the accessibility factor. Like, if you're not from here and you come visit California or any state that's recreational, that all you're required is an ID to make a purchase, it makes it so easy and convenient to pick something up. I mean, you don't gotta deal with like figuring out who the plug is or hitting up a plug and seeing if they're gonna sell it to you, not sell it to you, if they're gonna rip you off or not rip you off. It's just kind of straight to the point, man. You walk in there and you pick something up, great. I also think another pro is that to the average person that isn't, you know, super hyper focused on brands or maybe even a certain quality, it really works out to be able to walk in there and, you know, pay 30, 50 bucks, pick something up, and you're probably gonna get faded off of it, even if it's not the most optimal experience. Another big pro to the dispensaries is that it basically gives people an alternative option to, you know, leading into other drugs. Maybe like, let's say you come here and you don't know anybody around here and you want to pick something up, and you can easily walk into a dispensary and pick something up. I think it's much better for people to do that than to end up doing harder drugs, because in a city like San Francisco, most people usually end up doing harder drugs. And the biggest pro, of course, is the fact that it's legal to just go pick it up. I mean, what better feeling than to be somewhere where you can easily go pick up some product and not be scared that you're walking around with it, or if you get pulled over and caught with it, that you're gonna get in any sort of trouble, really. It's the best part to California. It's probably one of the only laws I agree with in California. And then ultimately, I think another huge pro is the fact that this going legal and there being dispensaries and stuff available, it's really opened the doors for the real connoisseurs, the real lovers of this plant, to be able to enter and have an opportunity to make money doing what they love. The biggest con with dispensaries, and it's not even directly only dispensaries at this point, because even a lot of street brands out there, is they are over overpriced. I mean, it gets to a point where you're probably gonna waste a ton of money trying to find things you really enjoy. But that's really only if you're a huge enthusiast of the plant, because I feel like the average person that just really does not care what they puff, they're just kind of like OG with it. They just go in there and buy whatever, and they're happy with just taking a couple hits and being faded, then it ultimately does work out well in your favor. Another huge con to the dispensaries, and this kind of follows up the last one, is that they pay so much taxes, bro. And the fact that they have to pay so much taxes means that when you buy, you have to pay a ton of taxes. So not only are you paying for product that's expensive, you're getting hit even higher with it, all because of Uncle Sam. And another flaw that I see with the dispensary market is that it's confined to a location. In other words, let's say you came to California and you bought something from a certain dispensary and you really like it, and you can't find that product in another dispo near you, and the closest one is California. You can't try that product until you come back here to buy it, which ultimately is so inconvenient. Like like what? How can they not make this just more accessible for people? But to summarize my own opinion on the dispensaries, they're not bad. They are overhyped and overpriced, sadly, but I wouldn't say a lot of that is fully their fault, you know? They're just following the state laws and regulations they have to follow, and at the end of the day, it gives easy access to people that are here visiting or locals that live here, and I think that's what it's about. People should have access, and it shouldn't be something difficult to get your hands on. Now, if you're not near a dispensary or just quite simply don't feel like getting out of your house to go to a dispensary, you guys can always Google Hella Slumped, and that gets sent across the entire country from the comfort of your phone and your home. You know what I'm saying? Simple. Hella Slumped. So I'm outside of Moe's Greens, and this is a dispensary and lounge and a wax bar. So you can go in there, pick up your product, roll up, bark up, and take dabs. What? We're officially inside the lounge right now. I picked something up, it was like $60, some fig farms, and they had things as cheap as 19 something, like $20 basically. So you do have quite a range of pricing here. I mean, I can't say that they are super overpriced. I didn't see anything over really 70 or so, and I think once you start getting into that range, 80, 90, $100 A's, it's kind of like, all right, are you actually paying for quality, or are you just paying for, you know, kind of like you do with designer clothes, like you're just paying for the name, the branded name, you know? I mean, to be completely honest with you guys, that is quite the experience. Like, I couldn't say that wasn't a 10 out of 10. That was pretty awesome. The vibes were vibing in there. Everybody was super chill, you know what I'm saying? Nice, and it was just real peaceful, real zen. The music was on point. That was a cool experience, bro. And to be honest, like, $60 or whatever, I think was worth the experience, and I still get to, you know, have some left over. I didn't even finish the whole thing. Like, great. If you came and visited, I think that'd be one hell of an experience. Ultimately, dispos are awesome, and they're great when they're all over the place and you get to pick and choose and shop around and see all these different options. It's pretty sick. I mean, it's so crazy to me to think back 10 years ago. I would not believe we would be where we're at today, where the market's at today, where everything is, the laws. It's just a great time to be alive, you feel me? It's one of those moments you really sit back and think about how far this space has came and how it's developed, and just grateful to be here, bro. Grateful for every single person watching, for real.